Good, I'm going to talk to this guy while I'm cutting up some tomatoes. Had to calling a lot of audibles lately. Call another audible. What my original plan was, let me give you a backstory first. First off, I don't even know if this is getting uploaded to YouTube. Pretty much prefacing things with this. We'll see how it goes. But I was doing a significant meal prep. That was, currently am, as you can hear me chopping. But I had a whole bunch of foods that were getting really close to turning. So I wanted to smash something together to make the most of them before they beat me to the punch and they spoil on me. So this isn't endorsed, by the way, but I want to share for anybody who hasn't heard of it to totally check it out. There's an app I really like using. It's called Supercook. And what I find great out of Supercook is what you do is you load all the items you have, all your food, right? So everything in your pantry, the fridge, the freezer, right? So all your veggies, all your breads, all your meats, all your spices, drinks, name it. And what it does is it then helps compile recipes based on its, whatever it uses its database from. Like, I know there's a couple, like, it's pretty obvious that there are like frequented sites, like allrecipes.com and whatever. So I don't know if that's like something on the back end or if it's just what's popular on its own version of a Google search or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, it then goes ahead and curates recipe options for you based on what you have available. And even if not what you have available, it will tell you that you've got most of the ingredients and what you're missing, which is neat, right? So depending on what's going on, you can either make a really quick substitute, or if you just got to run to the store and pick something up anyway, or whatever it be. So it's super convenient. And what I like out of it too is it helps kind of like come up with ideas for something that, you probably would have known that you could have made, but you might not have just been inspired to think about it because the idea didn't come up or whatever it would be. So in this case, a stew is a great idea, right? Like, because otherwise with the veggies and whatever, when I think veggies, the first thing I think of is salad. And like, even then, salads kind of got like a pretty limited shelf life because it's salad. So the what came up with, based on everything that I had, suggested a stew. I'm like, fuck yeah, I like stew. And I need to get a bunch of decent meal prep done anyway, so it works out really nice. And it's going to be kind of exciting for me too, since typically when I eat, and like, this is when I cook for myself, I want to make it very clear about that, but like, I fully acknowledge that I am not as mindful as I would like to see myself as when it comes to eating food. Because food is, first off, something to, well, let's be honest, don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Like I'll even say this with my own personal experience. I've had times in my life where I'd be curious what I'm eating, right? Like, or knowing that if I get food, I'm compromising something else. And like, even to this day, my net worth still starts with a negative number. But I know in the big picture that I'll never consider myself in a situation that is difficult, however, like presently, but like at times in the past, to explore resources like harvest or friends or whatever. It's difficult. And it's also a quick reality check when you come from kind of a place in like you know, you just kind of expect food to be available because you just kind of expect it. Like that's just what you're familiar with. And like I said, that to find myself even in that position and to know to never take something as what we would consider as trivial as food for granted, because there are individuals who are regularly looking for a full belly. I know that entirely. And so when it comes to what I eat a lot of fresh food on purpose, and I buy en masse on purpose to save myself some time, and I meal prep a lot so that it just keeps me moving for later, because I'm, you know, I like to consider myself relatively active, always with something to do, and if there's nothing to do, I'm looking for something to do, and believe me that there certainly is not nothing to do. But anyway, what I was saying about when it comes to being mindful about food is to not take it for granted for two things. One, like I said, having it is a privilege, period. And then also to not be as bleak. Food has the opportunity to be an art, because so many different textures and flavors and colors. When it's all said and done, there's a magic that can come with a delicious meal that is visually appealing, put together with care, creativity, and oftentimes a story, right? Like oftentimes there's a story behind the food when it's plated and presented. I am absolutely not a champion at that myself. I believe strongly in all chop being a coarse chop. Like having to dice onions and tomatoes and whatever. It's like, that's not in my wheelhouse. And that kind of goes back to what I was talking about, the mindfulness. Because when I eat, honestly, it's typically fuel. When I cook for myself, I should like really put that together. When I cook for myself, it's fuel, because I'm eating so that I've got a full belly, or I've got my nutrients or my calories or whatever, so that I can get into my next workout in a healthy way or recover accordingly or whatever it be. And it's not impossible to have those types of meals and then still give it just a little bit of love, right? And just to kind of like to savor the freshness of what you're eating, or to, you know, to kind of get tickled by the color of, you know, the different colors that you use. You know, you've got green pepper here, and then tomatoes, and then you've got some white potatoes and whatever, and like you can just have like little sparkle. So like that's, like I said, it's my own obstacle when it comes to food, to not kind of slow down and just savor. And like I said, that's with partial intent, because I feel like I gotta eat so I can carry on. Because there's an awesome exercise when it comes to mindfulness. It's really fun to do, by the way. I'm not going to get into all the detail about it, and I really recommend, if this intrigues you, totally Google it and check it out. But it's a little experiment with a raisin. You take one raisin. You put it on your tongue. Don't eat it. Just feel it. Feel the texture. Feel its shape, its size, its weight. Where it is. can taste it depending on where you put it on your tongue. Check out what type of taste it has, because not all raisins are identical. Right? Because you can do this multiple times with multiple raisins and notice a different experience. Just roll it around in your teeth. See if you can smell it. Then you check yourself. Have you eaten it yet? How are you feeling? Are you enjoying the raisin? Or are you trying to get through this so you can eat the thing? You experience the raisin. You experience the raisin instead of devouring it. You enjoy the one raisin and the moment in time that you have with that one raisin. And then you bite. You don't eat it, but you put it between your teeth and you bite. And you feel the raisin. And you feel the texture of the raisin on your tooth. Perhaps might feel the graininess. You might feel any sort of juice that might have existed in it. It's like this saliva. You feel it on your teeth. And you move it. Move it back to your tongue again. Now you experience that. And you enjoy the raisin and the experience that you have with it. And then you swallow the raisin. And you feel it. Feel it go down your throat. Recognize that. See if there's still a lingering taste. See if your sense of smell is activating again about it. And you feel it go into your stomach. And then you'd be grateful for that time and that experience you had with that one raisin. And that, for all intents and purposes, is the raisin exercise or something along those lines. But in seriousness, there's a lot of cool little audio clips of it. See if I can find it online. If I end up posting this on YouTube, I'll see if I can add a link to it. I thought it was the coolest thing. Personally, I like mindfulness exercises personally. I like being able to take a moment and kind of slow things down and like recognize the experiences kind of being in the here and now sort of thing. I find that it's helped me a lot as a person. And especially when I was starting to transition, going through exercises like that absolutely helped me. I know I've always been a strong person in the first place. I know that. There's no question about it. But to just kind of fortify a lot of those things. Because and it's funny saying that because like people who would have known me in a past life probably wouldn't have considered me strong. because like it's difficult when you're trans, because like there's a lot of things that like no matter who you are, you just won't ever get unless you live the same life. And so to compare, oh, things will be better. It's not like just being rejected from the fucking high school soccer team or something. I don't know. That's not a true story, by the way. I've never tried out for high school soccer. I don't even know if my high school had a soccer team. But anyway, the point being, right? Like, it's not a matter of just like not fitting in, right? It's, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know how to describe it, because the only way I can think of how to describe it as to how it's difficult for a trans person to experience is through the horrors that continue to get pieced together against trans individuals by people who want to weaponize our differences for their political views, for their political values, or their political needs. When it's all said and done, controversy about trans has nothing to do about science at all. Because science is established. It is individuals who use the smooth-brainedness of people willing to believe them, or who are afraid of the unknown, or are so fixated on artificial language and use that to platform their own values. I don't know if anyone who's listening to this has ever considered that, but that is a reality. Especially if you consider, when was it, 2015? And I'll only talk about recent past, because certainly it's not like that trans issues just recently existed. But with the advent of social media and the growth of it at the rate that it has, there's no question that it's more and more visible today. But the weaponizing of anti-trans policies being done by individuals looking to advance their own political platform and to give a simple, sensational topic for people to grasp onto, that no matter what all the other platform issues are, they're easily overlooked by voters and backers and whatnot, because they decide the trans issues, oh, those are the scary ones, so I'm going to go ahead and vote for the so-and-so because blah 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 bathroom bill, blah 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 sports, blah 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 whatever. I'm not your politics. End of story. My life is political, and it's not really that it is. And I'm grateful to see statements regularly enough that human rights aren't political discussions. And it's frustrating to be in a world where that continues to be debated. If you think about that, there are people still willing to be like, no, someone else's value is a political issue. Right? Really think about that. when it's all said and done, people still allow the idea that others aren't worth the same patch of land as they are, and are willing to support people who want to enforce that, and they support it blindly, not recognizing that these individuals in a quote-unquote position of power use this dialogue to rile up the ignorant so that they can have a better way to put themselves into a position that gets them to do their mingling and whatever with their business partners or whatever. Think about that. It's never a discussion about someone's validity. It's about somebody using an easy topic to earn votes for people, or by people, who, in the big picture, aren't capable of processing the big picture. And what's hilarious about that, to me at least, is oftentimes those people who fall for it are the ones to call people like me sheep. Funny. But anyway, kind of got off track there. But anyway, back to, mindfulness. That's what I was talking about. So, even though, like I said, I consider myself to be strong, I, just like everyone else, we've got up and down days. And so practicing exercises like that, raising exercise, certainly helpful. I would make it a habit to meditate regularly. I don't meditate anywhere near as much as I used to, but I certainly still do, or find meditation in my own way. Like an example of when I create time to meditate is often, like if I'm on a treadmill, for example, if I'm not daydreaming about hitting home runs, I use that as an opportunity, and I zone out. That by zone out, I kind of mean dial in, right? But to use that as an opportunity, right? Just pay attention to my breath, pay attention to my heartbeat, my heart rate, etc., right? Instead of paying attention to the timer or the hiccups, or the speed or the incline or whatever. But just pay attention to my body. Listen to my body. What is it telling me? How is it enjoying this ride? And so all forms of meditation too. It's kind of when you just touch base with yourself. Check in with yourself. See how you're experiencing something. See how you're handling it. And what that does is when you become aware of how you feel, then if you ever experience a time of stress, you're already starting to understand how your body's feeling other times, and then you can hear it better. You can hear what your body's telling you, not just feel what you're feeling, but your body is literally telling you a story with those feelings. And that's why every feeling is valid, because it is your body's reaction to a situation. End of story. How your body reacts to a situation is 100% natural. You want to joke about this sausage, right? Being 100% natural, but with my luck. Well, PC free from, raised without antibiotics. Well, close enough. Whatever. Anyway, but no, your feelings are 100% natural. How your body responds to a situation is valid. So, instead of not understanding what's going on, not understanding how you feel, not understanding why this, that, or the other thing is experienced, when you practice meditation, practice mindfulness, you learn, understand, cope. Not every time is easy. There's no question about that. Guarantee you, sometimes it will be immensely difficult. It's not every obstacle to cakewalk. But, just like everything else, ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Ups and downs. Days that you feel absolutely great are going to be met with days that are incredibly difficult. And sometimes it feels like there's no reason. And the reality is, the reason is because you're coming down. Especially if you're feeling so good for so long that it becomes to feel normal. And so then coming back to what used to be normal, quote unquote, is a little surprising and distressing. Because you're less up than you were before. And so recognizing those things, ups and downs, So, like I said, I find mindfulness exercises to be valuable, and if I get back to my food, that's a point that I was trying to make, that I know that there's an opportunity that I miss by not appreciating my meals as much as I would like. Because there's an art, there's an experience, there's a journey, there's a discovery possible with every single thing that you make or eat. I could tell you in confidence, I think I said it earlier, but if someone makes me food, or if I'm going out to eat, especially someplace that, I know to pay attention to the food for, I'm not just going somewhere to be social and food's a byproduct of that, but it's like, go to this place to eat because this food is good. Absolutely, I'll take the time to appreciate it further. Same thing with other stuff. Coffee, a really good example. I don't drink. I can drink, right? I don't drink to prove a point, but wine. Wine's a perfect example of that too, right? Where there's tons of different types of wines, and there's reasons why some people like certain wines and others. And I might not directly go out of my way to identify you can smell it, or you can taste the cranberry, or whatever. But if somebody tells me why they like a certain drink or food, or if they want my opinion on something, it's just like the raisin exercise. What do you see? What do you like? How does it make you feel? And it adds an entire dimension to something that far too many of us take for granted in the first place. So, this is a good time to wrap this up, actually, because I just finished prepping everything now. Literally my last cut. And just cooking. I'll spend more time paying attention to hot and strawberry, because back to that mindfulness thing. I want to appreciate what you made. get to eat it later and later and later and later. Can't remember if I showed it. Literally, this is going to be all stew. I've got a lot of... I'm going to have a lot of Tupperware containers in the freezer. But, yeah, I'll give this a listen, see how it went. Maybe upload it. And if this gets uploaded and watched through it, thank you for watching. Happy to catch up. I know I kind of rambled on and on and on, but life's been... I've been busy, right? Like like I said, the Run for Women took a lot of my time just during the days with the amount of just the time spent with workouts and otherwise, like, for anyone who knows me well enough, right, my downtime is spent with advocacy, right? Like, I've been my gosh, emails, reaching out about higher weather, reaching out about to organizations who knowingly or inadvertently are aligned with a radio group that allows transphobia blatantly. 7 up, by the way, in case you didn't know. But yeah, that's really been what I've been up to, right? If I'm not working out, or working, obviously, right? Like, I work from home. Got some stuff, got some reports syncing right now anyway, but like, work from home, right? So getting work done there and sync this and whatever. But yeah, no, I've been, like I said, I haven't had as much of an opportunity as I'd like to throw stuff on YouTube. I've talked to this guy a few times, and I want to I'll just check those out. Maybe I'll just upload those as well too. I don't know, just to be visible, and because I do appreciate I appreciate the space to be able to do that. I appreciate the feedback and the comments, right, from people who are supportive. I do plan on creating more time to expand my socials and to further advocacy, right? Like, it's going to be great. I've got a ton of tabs open, and just to keep pushing that advocacy, because, systemic change needs awareness, and I'm more than happy to help people get aware about what's going on in their backyard, and especially with an election quite possibly on the corner, right, or around the corner, right? It could be really important stuff to make sure that people are aware of, to know what that human rights aren't really ignored, and they're probably more than ever valued when it comes to people's personal interests. So it's exciting stuff. So, but yeah, if I'll give this a listen, and if this gets uploaded and you get through it, thanks for hanging in there, and hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk later, all right?